Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Sunday, March 9th, 2025. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find it to be an epic struggle?
Well, it was a challenge. I will give you that.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call it an epic struggle.
Okay. Not like a Sam Mazursky.
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not.
This was, by the way, a Michael Schlossberg.
Uh-huh.
I found it quite challenging in several places.
Oh.
Even after I sort of got the theme,
Uh-huh.
there were just places where I simply did not know the answer. And when I finally solved the crossword, I didn't know why I had. And because I didn't understand one of the two clues that led to the solution until I stared at it for a while, and then I'm like, oh, I get it. It was a great crossword, I thought.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. Because I like history, and of course I like reading the news, and so, yeah.
This was the intersection of the two.
It was.
Why don't we talk about that theme then?
Okay, well, the theme was entitled Extra, Extra. And that was very apropos because all the theme clues were newspaper headlines. And they didn't even, give you a clue as to what they were about. They just gave you the newspaper and the date. And from that, you were supposed to figure out what the headline would have been. So I got, I didn't get the first one, London Herald, 4/16/1912. And that was Titanic sinks. Mm-hmm. But I did get the next one, 27 across, the New York Times, 8/9/1974. Nixon resigns.
But now, did you get that? You must have gotten some of the crosses first, right?
No, I knew that one. I remember that date. But
how did you know it was going to be a headline of that newspaper? Because of the Titanic sinks?
No, well... I figured it was some sort of headline. So,
All right, no idea. Okay.
And then 39 across, Chicago Daily Tribune, 11/3/1948. Dewey defeats Truman. That was a pretty famous one. Mm-hmm. So that one came pretty quickly for me. The next one, Variety, 64 across, Variety, 10/30/1929. I thought it's got something to do with the
crash.
And it was. Well, Wall Street lays an egg. And then we had 91 across, New York Daily News, 10/10/1975. And that was Ford to City, drop dead. And then we had, the last one was a double one, right? Yeah.
Right.
113 and 115 across. New York Post, 4/15/1983. Headless body into topless bar.
Yes.
Headless body in topless bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess New York Post must be sort of like a tabloid.
Right.
So anyway, those were the theme clues. I thought they were very interesting and some kind of funny.
Yes.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last one, it was funny and horrific simultaneously.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Do you know the story of that? Apparently, someone killed somebody and there was a decapitation, and it took place in a topless bar.
Oh, my.
So that's where the headline came from.
Wow.
I know. Shocking. Mm-hmm. I think the New York Times headline was something like, person gets shot in bar.
Oh.
They weren't quite as salty about it.
Right.
But I had, I couldn't get started anywhere in this crossword.
Oh, uh-huh.
I just, one across. First Lady McKinley. No idea. Mm. Did you know that it was Ida?
I did.
That would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
One down, Sharon Madonna, e.g. I went for stars. But had I known it was Ida, I would have gone for the correct answer of icons.
Right. Uh-huh.
The one next to it, two down, Old Scratch with the was devil.
Yep.
You knew that?
I did know that.
Wow. Okay, so I see the issue here. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything, and so 3 down, or baby name whose popularity plummeted after 2015 was Alexa.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yes. Well, I guess they didn't want to keep calling the kid and ordering something from Amazon simultaneously.
Exactly.
We had 6 down, which I thought was sort of amazing. The clue was taxpayers, and the answer was assessees.
Yes. I just kept putting in S's and E's, and I'm like, what what is this? And then I was like, oh, assessees.
I guess if you have assessors, you must have assessees.
And I suppose taxpayers would be in that lot.
I like to think of myself as now an assessee.
Me too. I'm an assessee.
I suppose if you help out an assessee, you are an accessory to an assessee.
I believe so.
I don't know. 4 across, common saltwater bait fish was shad.
Yes.
Did you get that?
No.
We've seen that before, though, I know. At least I think we have. It certainly isn't a debut. But, the one next to it, 8 across. Letters before Q. So I dutifully went MNOP.
Me too.
But it was LGBT.
Right.
Nice one, Mr. Schlossberg. Actually, it's Dr. Schlossberg, sorry.
Very clever.
12 across, even that, become crunchy in the oven, crisp up.
Yep.
You were familiar with the phrase crisp up?
Yep, I was.
Okay. How about 12 down? Carolina Reaper for 1, chili.
Well, I thought, that's a pepper, but then, pepper.
Which is a chili.
Yeah, pepper didn't fit, so I was like, chili. That makes sense.
I thought it was some sort of an athletic team.
No.
Here come the Carolina Reapers.
No, it's a pepper.
Like a really hot one?
Yep.
Okay, so you eat one and you die.
No, I don't know about that, but I think it's pretty hot. I've never had one.
Right next to that, 13 down, good name for a geologist. I was sure it was going to be Rocky.
Me too.
But it was Rocco.
That's right.
Who calls anyone Rocco?
Oh, I think people
really
have that as a name.
Do you know, have you ever known anyone named Rocco?
Well, I know, I think Madonna named one of her children Rocco.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm hoping we get listener mail now from someone named Rocco. Mm-hmm. If you're listening, Rocco, please drop us a line.
Okay.
And if you're named Rocky, feel free to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had unknot, 17 down. The actual clue was pull some strings, and the answer was unknot.
That's right.
Which does not sound like a word to me.
Unknot?
Unknot.
Oh, yeah. It's
really?
a word.
Okay. I will take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
And 18 down, we've seen this one before, and I was mad that I didn't know it. Peseta, old Spanish coin.
That's right.
37 across. I actually remembered one answer. Plantain lily by another name, hosta.
That is correct, yes.
I think that might also be the name of a anchor on The Daily Show. I wouldn't swear to it.
Oh, I don't know.
Michael, I'm sorry. That was Michael Costa.
Oh.
I was thinking it was Michael Hosta, but Michael Costa.
Mm-hmm. I liked 54 across. They're below par. Birdies.
Yes.
I had that one golf clue in there. Oh, and then right down from that, 57 across. Footwear for a sharp dresser. Stilettos.
Yes, that was nice. And that first tee of stilettos ran into 58 down, certain spot, TV ad. Mm-hmm. Every time I see that. I've sort of gotten used to ATM references, but I still can't, when I see the word spot, I start thinking about acne and not about TV ads.
Oh.
And close to that, 43 down, so this is, I think, where I ended up. They're known to open up with some jokes. So I thought it's got to be MCs.
Right.
Because it was the right number of letters, and I thought, what else could it be? And then when I got Dewey Defeats Truman, I realized it was going to start with an A, but I didn't know the word underneath it, popular Hawaiian dish. And I thought, it's make or Mackie or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking it was MAKE.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting, because if both of us, solving independently, as we always do, thought of the same thing, there must have been some fish named Mackie.
I think there is.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Mahi, M-A-H-I. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Well, Mahi sounds right. Mm-hmm. But this was poke.
Yeah.
A popular
pokey.
Pokey?
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
We might go to the pokey. Anyways, after that, and then 56 across was choice words. And the answer was oars.
Right.
And so we had APR. And at some point, I should have picked up on the fact that it was going to be April's.
Right. They're known to open with some jokes.
Yes.
April Fool.
And when I went through the alphabet at the junction of April's, what would I later discover become April's, and poke, and when I got to the P, I got the happy music.
Oh.
And then I looked at April's, and I'm like, why April's? They're open with some jokes. What? And then I'm like, oh, April Fools. Got it. Mm-hmm. That was really an early April Fool's joke for me. 60 across. Toward the opposing goal in hockey was up ice.
Yes, I did not know that.
I did not know that. I've never heard that phrase before. Mm-hmm. I've watched plenty of Hockey Night in Canada games, and no one's ever said up ice.
Up ice.
As far as I can tell. I mean, I guess it's up, although it is technically it's a very flat surface. So I'm not sure about up versus down. We had 46 down. Damage director Louis Malle, Malle.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yes.
You did?
Well,
Wow.
I saw the director Lewis, and I thought I've heard of the director Louis Malle, and so I thought, well, it must be Malle. So,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So bit by bit, it's becoming clear why you were able to do this crossword much faster than I was.
Yeah, there were a lot of pop culture things in here that I knew.
Now,
I don't know all of them, but in today's puzzle, I knew most of them.
I know none of them, except for 51 down. K-pop septet was BTS.
That is correct.
It was 3 letters and it had K-pop, and it was either going to be BTS or I had no idea.
Yeah, right.
The one right next to it was brilliant. 52 down. Short note, IOU.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was, I really appreciated that one. Mm-hmm. 86 across. Breakout performer, escapee. That was good.
Yeah, that was funny. Mm-hmm.
And do you play cribbage?
I don't.
So 70 down, 1 pointer in cribbage, ace?
I used to, but,
oh.
But
Did you remember enough of your cribbage playing days to recognize 70 down being ace?
Yeah.
The 1 pointer? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that was good, 87 across. It's blowing in the wind. Vein.
Yeah. I was like, what could that be?
Mm-hmm.
It turned out vein. Yes, it would. Blow in the wind.
All right. I predict you didn't know 95 across. The rubber people in Nahuatl, Olmec.
I did not. And I
Finally.
always, we've had Olmec before, and I totally forgot about it.
Really?
Yes, and I don't think the clue was rubber people, but anyway, I think of Mayans and Incas, and kind of that era, but it was Olmec.
Considering that this is an ancient civilization, I find it very interesting that the first time it showed up in the New York Times was 1987. Mm-hmm. SNL showed up in 1943. I don't understand why Olmec is only showing up in 1987.
Uh-huh.
And why it is the rubber people. I just envisioned these people bouncing off the walls.
Maybe they harnessed rubber, they created it or something.
I think that makes more sense than the assumption that they were, in fact, rubber people.
Yeah, I doubt they were rubber people. Oh.
And maybe they went along with their associates and allies, the pencils.
I liked 111 across. Fool around. Lollygag.
Yes.
That's a great word.
It is.
Lollygag.
I want to use lollygag every day this week. So when they say fool around, they just mean sort of like joking around?
Acting dumb or silly.
Okay, quit lollygagging. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yep.
I will try and work that into casual conversation. We had, 112 across. Tolkien Trilogy for short was LOTR. That wasn't too difficult.
Lord of the Rings, yes.
Oh, and then 104 across, where people typically go to the mat. Porch.
Right.
That was another one.
Uh-huh.
Because the P of porch ran into 104 down, informal goodbye. And the answer there was peace.
Peace, yes.
And I couldn't get that for a long time. But
No.
it didn't help that 119 across, Latin look was ecce, which we've seen before.
Yep.
And I forgot before. I think that's what makes these crosswords so exciting for me. Every time I start, it's like starting from nothing.
Uh-huh.
89 down. 89 down was my heavens, I declare.
I declare. I was like, what is that? I was doing the crosses, and I'm like, what could that be? Because I had the I, and I didn't have the D, but I think I had the C and the A, and I'm like, what could this be? And it turned out, I declare. No.
Yeah, I was going for something with more of a literal astronomy theme, like stars or galaxies or something, but not those kind of heavens.
No. Nope.
And it didn't help when, as I was trying to figure out I declare, I didn't know 120 across, which was going to be the R of I declare. Filmmaker Johnson, Rian.
I think it's pronounced Ryan.
Ryan? Okay, it should have a Y in there. Do they know that? I saw Johnson, and my reaction is always Artie.
Right.
Artie Johnson, who was an actor, not a filmmaker.
Comedian, yes.
Comedian, yes. I mean, they were on, the Rowan, the...
Laughing.
Laugh-In? Yes, they were in Laugh-In. So that makes them actors, doesn't it? I mean, they were on a television show.
Yeah, I think that's where, like, Goldie Hawn got her start. She's an actress. So I think there were some other actors and actresses that started there.
Even in the top or bottom right corner, we had some issues. Or I had some issues. I know you didn't have any issues. 121 across. Degree held by only one U.S. president, George W. Bush, MBA.
Right.
I sort of thought that was going to be the case. But I didn't know 108 down. Some have meters, poems.
Right.
I had to flail around for that a bit. Also, 125 across, the S of poems was part of the second vis-a-vis the first say, sun.
Right.
It's like, wow. So, yeah, this took me forever, but it was fun.
It took me a little longer than usual, but not too bad. When I got to the end and filled in the last clue, it solved. So
really?
I'm like, yay.
Oh, it definitely didn't solve for me. And, there were so many places I thought maybe Olmec is wrong. I felt pretty good about the headless body and topless bar. But anywho, I would say this warrants 5 squares in the Jam CR scale.
I would say so too.
All right, it is unanimous. Well done, Michael Schlossberg.
Yes.
And that is it for today. So glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And we will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.